Hey guys, the 11-day countdown is on for your term paper. So I wanted to take a little bit of time today to work through the basics with you to make sure you're ready to go. I know the first thing that you are interested in is how long does this paper need to be? Let me be simple and clear. The minimum number of words it needs to be is 1,000 words. The maximum number is 1,500 words. If it's below 1,000 words, points will be taken off. And if it's above 1,500 words, points will be taken off. So you're not getting extra credit points with me for it being longer. As a matter of fact, if you can say, good lesson, if you can say it in 1,000 words, say it in 1,000 words. But I do know for 20 people, places, objects, ideas, that 1,000 words feels like so few, and so there is that 500 word kind of leeway there. All right, so 1,000 to 1,500 words. It is due. It is due. Please hear this on the 21st of November. That is 11 days from today. So please get started on this. What needs to be in your paper? Well, you've already written an outline, so pull that up. You are not going to be able to see my outline. I have it pulled up here, but you won't be able to see it on my screen. But how do you get started with your paper? Let's start with formatting, because formatting is for your sake and my sake. When it's formatted well, I can read it. And for those of us who have to read a lot of papers, if we can look at a paper and see what it's going to say clearly, it's very helpful. So I like to use Google Docs. That way I can pull up anywhere I am. But you may use Word. Either way, it doesn't matter. There is an MLA template that you can pull up. And so in your Google Documents, if you pull up just a brand new thing, there's going to be a row of templates up at the top. You may need to search those, but it's going to say MLA. You see that right here on the screen. And so there, just make sure that you pull it up, and you're gonna have this wonderful opportunity when you pull it up for the first time. It's gonna have this easy bib. That is the works cited portion of your paper, and it will create it for you. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. Here's the downside. I couldn't open it on my Warner account, my Warner email. So I hope you can. I hope that can open up for you, because if you do, as you're importing your typing in your things, it will just put it in the paper for you. But again, I couldn't get that to open. So with that being said, I apologize. I wish I could change that for you, but I can't. So I'm gonna click it off. If it doesn't work for you, let me show you the next best thing. Citefast.com. All you have to do is Google this, citefast.com. Cite as in cite in your paper, CITEFAST.com. And make a little account, and you can create then a bibliography. And so you'll do that by putting in the title of the book that we're using in class, any journals that maybe you've looked up, right here you can see there's a place for blogs, for encyclopedias and dictionaries. There's a place for lecture notes, because some of you might choose to use lecture notes or something. Online video, so YouTube or whatnot might be on there, a newspaper, a web image. This gives you the ability to do all of those things. But for the sake of time, let's just pretend you've gone to the Bible Project and you found this podcast, or you've looked at the transcript from the podcast and you're like, this is really great. And so I'm going to copy and paste that URL. I'm going to go to CiteFast, I'm going to type it in there, and boom, it's going to come up. You got to edit this a little bit, but let's just say the Bible Project. You're going to save that citation. In a moment, I'll show you where those go. You're going to have the ability to do in-text citation, which I'll give you an example of, and you're going to have then the ability to copy and paste all of this to go into your paper. And so let's just say then at the end of your paper, you're going to always have this works cited spot. And you're just going to copy and paste those in, do a little bit of editing. When it ends up being 2 lines, there is a need to indent the second line in MLA format. All right, so that's just a picture of how you'll do this bibliography. Let's just get started with our paper now. Let's go up to the top, and let's look at then. Sorry, I got to fix this because I can't take it. All right, go up here. Your name's first, then my name. So you'll write this in here. Subject, that's going to be BTS 3005, and then the date, and then the title of your paper. Let's just say it's going to be Jesus Messiah. You're going to come up with a title. I'm going to go over now. You'll see me do this when I paste it in. I'm going over to my outline, which I don't believe you can see. I'm going to copy and paste right into here my thesis. Now, I'm not using all of this because I put some extra things in here. So it says this: the Old Testament demonstrates that God is faithful. God creates everything, and the Old Testament demonstrates that people fail God repeatedly. God made a plan to restore what humans destroyed. Ultimately, people need God to do what they can't for themselves. The Old Testament points us to our need for Jesus and explains Jesus' role in ultimate salvation. There's my introduction. There's my introduction. It's that simple. Next is going to be my heading. I'm looking at, and again, you can't see my outline. And so my first main point was God creates, God's creation plan. I'm going to write about that. God created the heavens and the earth, blah, blah, blah. And then because I'm citing the Bible, I'm going to put, for instance, ESV, let's see, Genesis 1-3, comma, ESV. And that's going to go in there. And I know where you took that main idea from. So then I want to talk about human beings. So I want to talk about Adam and Eve. So I'm going to write some information about them, whatever that needs to be. So then using the template, there's a subsection. It's another one I'm going to put in here. I'm going to put trees. And I'm going to put tree of life and tree of knowledge of good and evil. And you see I misspelled, and so I'm just going to go back. I'm going to correct that right away. And then I'm going to type a few sentences about that. All right, so on the template, the conclusion is next, but what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go back up and I'm going to copy right here because I want another main point, because that's not enough for me. I have 20 people, places, and things. So my second one is this. Covenants. So I want to talk about covenants God makes with humans. And so I'm then going to take, I'm going to write about what covenants are. Let's see. Covenants are God's vow to and with humans to ensure a healthy relationship. All right. That's just a generic. I took that out of my mind. Then I'm going to come up here. I'm going to copy and paste a subsection. By the way, you can do this too. Let me do this instead. Up here under formatting, you can go up to normal text and you can do heading 2. And it's going to do that. And my heading is going to be here. Noah covenant. And I'm going to write about that. And again, I misspelled. So, and then I'm going to do the Abrahamic. Then I'm going to do the Mosaic Then I'm going to do the Davidic covenant. And then I'm going to write about the final one, which is going to be the new covenant. And underneath this, then I could write about, look at these people I could write about: Noah, Abraham, Moses, David. I could write about the prophets here. And I could also write about the theme of the Messiah through each one of these, because each one is pointing to the Messiah. So in the Noah covenant, we have the promise of God's salvation, pointing to Messiah. In Abraham, we have a picture of the Messiah, that that his kids will be as numerous as the stars in the skies, and those who bless him will be blessed, those who curse will be cursed. And then ultimately, there is going to be a salvation that comes from one of his heirs. And then we have the Mosaic covenant, the kind of the marriage ceremony on Mount Sinai. So I get to cover the 10 commandments. I get to cover the picture of idolatry as while Moses is on the mountain, Aaron does what he does. Then to the Davidic covenant, the promise of a kingdom that's then that then ultimately is divided, and then the prophets come into it. And then we'll talk about this in the next week. The prophets give this picture of a new covenant, that there will be a king who will come. He will be the Messiah, and there we have it. And so, man, I believe it or not, I believe with what I just did, I can cover the entire Bible in 2 main sections and approximately 6-8 subsections. So then I'd write a conclusion down here, and there I would be set. So let's look at citation really quickly. Let's just say that that here I have used this citation over here. I need to stick a text in the citation. So I've used the book from our class. I'm going to copy and paste that. I'm going to go back in here, and let's say under let's say the tree of knowledge and good and evil, let's pretend I wrote this paragraph. At the end of this sentence, I took something from the book. I'm going to copy and paste that in. Now, if you'll notice, that formatting didn't come in correctly. So let me show you a secret. Go up to edit and hit paste without formatting, and it will put it in your formatting. And the XX here is the page number. So let's say it was 170. I don't know that it was, but that's how you do a proper in-text citation. If you quote something directly, you must use quotation marks and put a citation. I'm suggesting here that I used an idea. It's not my idea. I didn't quote anything, but I got my idea from the book. I still need to cite that. And so this is what I do at the end of the kind of the paragraph or the sentence where I cited that. I put in House and Mitchell, which is our survey of the Old Testament book, and the page number or page numbers. So if it's multiple, I do 175. Let's just say it was that kind of 5 pages that you're summarizing. And so at the end, you find, here it is in the citation. And I can now look this book up. I can look up the page number, and I can say, oh yeah, they're telling me the truth. We want integrity in the work we do. So that is a picture of how our paper would come together. The 11-day countdown is on 1,000 to 1,500 words, MLA format. It must be MLA format. Okay. You cannot get an A on this paper if you do not use MLA format. You must have 1,000 words and no more than 1,500 words. All right, get to writing and good luck.